Exhilarating.
Innovation.
I would say it's fun. Surprising.
Challenging.
Determination.
I would say exciting.
It's really exciting and something new.
Fulfilling. Their experience in this competition is going to support them in their future.
All right, so my name is Angela Collins. I'm the executive director of the Vertical Flight Society, the 7th executive director in our 81-year history. And we're excited to be able to offer this opportunity for students, the Design Build Vertical Flight competition.
Vertical Flight Society's Design Build Vertical Flight is a student competition that gets students to build a drone, whether they've built drones in the past or building drones for the first time, to really push the boundaries of what the UAS space can do.
Hi, we're from the University of Akron Zips Drone Design Team. This is our first year competing, and we're hyped for the event.
Team name is Ignis Dominatus.
We are the Wisco Wingmen.
The Aggie Vertical Flight Club, and this is our drone, Tydrone.
Each year we build a different drone and name it with the following letter of the alphabet. And this year we're on K, and Kraken sounded really cool to us.
So our drone's name is I Hope It Doesn't Break.
Structurally, this aircraft is very strong. We overbuilt it. We like to call it the tank. Every year, the percentage of teams that come successful is higher. There are more bulletproof designs. The entire event is evolving, and it's cool seeing just teams be a little bit better every year.
We took a lot of the lessons that we learned trying and failing last year and applied them this year.
So it looks certainly a bit unique.
So I think what makes our drone unique is the payload mechanism.
A quad-rotor biplane tail sitter configuration.
I think it's really unique.
Everyone's got different vehicles, different setups, different mechanisms. So we're looking out and seeing all these different things and taking back learnings. What can we do next year to improve? What can we add?
The first few years of the competition were a little raw, a little rough, duct tape and styrofoam, but we're at a point now where these students are very polished. They're putting in a lot of hours and time.
A lot of students are very proud of the work that they do. A lot of students are eager to recruit other students to join their team.
The fact that we're able to communicate very well as a team out there in the field. Malika and I are co-captains, and Messiah is our flight control lead. Whoops.
And we spent much of last night preparing. We had a second drone, mostly preparing.
I am the middleman of the team. Paris here is in charge of the structural design.
So far, the flights have been a little bit underwhelming here. So we're actually about to head out and go test it some more and hopefully figure out what's going on so we can have a strong showing either late this afternoon or early tomorrow morning.
Seeing all of our hard work finally come to a point where we could actually get the vehicle up and flying and working well was really great.
This is Firebuzz. Ended up doing a little bit of weight reduction. We had bigger landing gear that would have made it set up a little higher and look a little more similar to the other vehicles, but we're very happy with how our sort of pool noodle landing gear ended up helping us land quickly and not bounce as the rules state. So yeah, it worked out well for us.
So the competition's been going pretty well so far. We were able to get all of our flights done so far that we had planned to do. We're going to try some more tomorrow. The biggest obstacle is really the wind. The wind is much, much higher than what we're used to back in Auburn.
So basically we wanted to do a hexcopter just because we figured it'd be a little bit better for, the flight missions and all of that. And then the reason we have the outer hexagon, these little thin tubes, is because we were having some bending in the arms, and it ended up fixing all of it just by tying the edges together. So it looks certainly a bit unique. We weren't planning for it to have this outer hexagon. It was supposed to be just the center frame and the tubes, and actually 3 landing legs instead of all 6, but we added it anyways. It works really well.
2 months ago, this drone was nowhere close to being done, and probably like a matter of a couple of weeks ago, we got it all together, and they're just like, all right, like let's start flight tests, and now here we are. So, but yeah, definitely a lot of learning and trial and error with this for sure. We kind of went with a more simplistic design, just kind of something that we would know get the job done. 6 months ago, we all really took a deep dive into how to fly a drone, how to build a drone, everything like that. But yeah, before this, none of us had any experience with drones at all.
We went with the hexacopter because of A, redundancy, and B, it's very modular, easy to take apart. We have 2 of these, so the parts are very inexpensive and easy to find and put together. So we mainly went with that build, and it's also pretty light. And again, we know hexacopters. It's kind of our thing, so to speak.
So one of the things about our drone is that it's a biplane tail sitter, so it can fly both as a quadcopter as well as a fixed wing. And this gives us a lot of stability and efficiency when we want to traverse far distances at high speeds. But it also, because of the way our propulsion system is designed, we have a lot of extra overhead power to fly like a racing drone to go really fast.
It's very ad hoc. We take it as it comes. So we have 3 mechanical engineers, 1 electrical engineer, and 1 econ major. Guess who? And yeah, so our electrical lead handles all the electronics, and our mechanical team is really talented and designed all of this in a relatively short period of time.
We kind of have like a rotary system where all of the payloads sit inside a circle, and then it all rotates, and there's a tooth that just pushes them all out one by one.
I think the toughest challenge so far has been having to spend most of our time on the ground because of the issues we've been having. It all has to be remedied through our computer software and improving upon what we had when we arrived. In addition to that, having flown perfectly back at home and then showing up at the competition and having all these issues pop up seemingly out of nowhere has been a real challenge for us.
So last year we had a drone that basically just passed the safety check and then couldn't complete the mission. That experience, we thought we could win, so we came back, and we also loved the experience and the culture and all the teams that came last year.
You can see that our motors are canted. That's to increase our roll control authority in forward flight. We've also got our own custom firmware this year that allows us to handle some of the complexities of transitioning into forward flight as well. We decided to put control surfaces on our aircraft this year to further improve our pitch and roll control authority in forward flight. So yeah, our experience from last year shined through in this year's design pretty consistently. We were heavily referencing it. We get a lot of cool efficiency boosts and stuff from those wings you see there. Unfortunately, we were not expecting winds as dramatic as they've been, so it's been somewhat more of a hindrance than a blessing so far. We will be back tomorrow, that's right.
You never take advice. Someday you'll pay the price. I know. I've seen it before. It happens all the time. You're closing the door. You leave the world behind. You're digging for gold. You're throwing away a fortune in
we thought that we were only going to be able to fly for about 4 hours. We had really, really rough wind.
The weather was not optimal. Like there were gusts of winds and teams, took on the risk, tried flying. Teams were like going back and forth, having very thorough conversations of what can they do and what they can't do.
Be able to like handle the wind, handle the rain, handle the crashes, and like come back with a jerry-rigged aircraft was so fun.
Seeing not waterproof drones try and be waterproof, always fun.
Yeah.
So what we were really looking for were drones that are capable of precision, efficiency, speed, and precision on payload drops as well. So all the teams did absolutely phenomenal.
Teams that did well were the ones that successfully dropped multiple payloads, as well as completing the course manually and getting a few laps in for Flight Mission 1.
I know it takes many, many months of hard work, time, effort, late nights to be incredibly proud of yourselves.
For both the fly-off and the overall competition goes to Case Western Reserve University.
Say 100%. You learn a lot more, like actually applying what you learn in college versus just theory. And I would recommend it to anyone.
Bring spares of absolutely everything. Don't be afraid to fail. You'll probably crash. It's okay.
There will probably be crashes. We have had couple ourselves.
This competition is not exactly what I expected. Everyone's super friendly, and we've been sharing parts, sharing batteries with other teams, and every team checks up on how you're doing.
We've learned a lot from other teams too. They brought a decent design. Learned a lot from everyone.
Also really liked seeing teams help out other teams.
It's been really nice because all the other teams have been willing to help us with anything we need, and then we try to help them with anything.
But the equivalent worked out the way it needed to, but there's always room for improvement, even on the current design.
Wish we would have caught that sooner, but it means that this aircraft has untapped potential that we've never actually utilized in forward flight.
It's rewarding to see all your hard work get actually into the air.
Recommend doing it early. I think one of the other guys from the other schools is a freshman, so do what he did and get you, as soon as you get to college, start doing things like this.
The amount that students can list on their resumes because of their experience just participating in DBVF is huge.
It gives them a huge step ahead. I mean, I didn't get to go to any competitions like this. If I had the knowledge that these guys have with flight controllers and things like that before coming into service, I mean, that would have just been so valuable coming in.
A company like Service, and you see how they operate, it's strikingly similar to how this competition operates. You have challenges based on flight testing, iterating, improving. And one thing I really love about the VFS DBVF competition is we have multiple people on the team, some who aren't here today, some who are here today, who kind of came from nothing, no experience, and they've already got a taste of what it means to do this in industry.
It's really, really impactful for them to not only be able to learn how to cooperate, coordinate, and communicate within a larger team, but also to be able to handle those really tough call, last minute call, really quick call situations that often happen in the drone space. So,
and just the passion and just the energy and just the drive that these teams bring is just incredible. And it really makes the entire year's worth of work worth it this week. More important is the lessons that students learn and they take with them for their professional future careers.